Hello everyone, today we are breaking down the Witcher Season 2 teaser trailer that was released at WitcherCon earlier today. Remember to like the video, it helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe and yada yada yada. Let's get to it. The first thing we see is Geralt and Ciri sitting around a campfire. Ciri says,
"So, I'm your destiny?"
"You're much more than that, Cirilla."
This line is actually taken from the book Sword of Destiny. It is when the two find each other on the farm, so when the two meet at the end of Season 1. In the books, it's much more emotional because Ciri had already met Geralt and knew she was his destiny, but in typical Geralt fashion, he ignored this until they met on the farm and he finally accepted he can't hide from destiny. This probably takes place in episode 1 of season 2, sometime after the two meet on the farm and they are heading back to Karen Morhen. Ciri is not as much in the know as she is in the books about being Geralt's child surprise, so Geralt is explaining it to her, and Geralt saying that she is much more than his destiny is suggesting that she has a much more important role to play in the grand scheme of things. In the next shot, we see Geralt and Ciri traveling together. As I said before, they are heading back to Karen Morhen, which is a Witcher stronghold. During the winter, Geralt and many other Witchers head there for refuge. In the next shot, we see Geralt and Ciri on horseback looking into a small town. As the shot continues, we see Geralt come across a man who has been slashed across the face and is dead. From WitcherCon, they released the name of the episodes of Season 2, and the first episode is called A Grain of Truth, which is named after a short story in the first book, The Last Wish. Anyone who has watched my previous videos knows about this, but I'll go over it again because it's slightly different. So the Grain of Truth story is about Nivellen, who is cursed for unjust deeds and now looks like a giant bear. It is pretty much a darker version of Beauty and the Beast. Nivellen lives in a manor and he has magical powers so he can conjure up things and make things animate. Nivellen does not live in the manor alone. He does sometimes have ladies live with him to keep him company. Usually these ladies live with him for about a year, and then after a year is up, they go back to their families with a big bag of coin. What makes this different is in the books, Geralt is alone when he comes across Nivellen. Here, Ciri is with him, so this should be an interesting dynamic. We may get to see some of Ciri's powers come out because the two will be in some danger, but not from Nivellen, something much worse. During this, Ciri and Geralt say,
"I need to understand some things."
The world is changing. Centra isn't safe for you anymore.
Ciri is probably talking about her powers. As you may remember from Season 1, Ciri became possessed and released a powerful energy, killing her would-be attackers. So she really doesn't know how to control her powers. Geralt is just saying that they can't go back to Cintra because Nilfgaard has it, and Nilfgaard wants Ciri, so it's a bad idea to go there. In the next shot, we see Geralt and Ciri still traveling on horseback, but the environment is much different, much rockier, and more in the mountains. So this is probably on the outskirts of Karen Morhen, which is incredibly hard to get to because of how secluded it is. For those who don't know, Karen Morhen is also known as the School of the Wolf. So Witchers who have a wolf medallion, like Geralt, were trained here. If a Witcher had a bear or viper medallion, then they were trained at the School of the Bear or Viper. As Ciri and Geralt enter Karen Morhen, we see the courtyard. We can see that the stronghold looks in rough shape. That is because fanatics a long time ago, way before the events of Season 1, attacked the stronghold. They believe Witchers were abominations. They killed most of the teachers and students at the time, greatly reducing the Witcher numbers. The animated prequel Nightmare of the Wolf will be going over this when it comes out on August 23rd on Netflix. But with that attack, the school became no more, and now Karen Morhen is used as a place for rest for Witchers and a place to stay during the winter. As they enter the main hall, we meet the other Witchers who will be staying at Karen Morhen. In the books, only Vesemir, Cohen, Eskel, and Lambert were staying at Karen Morhen with Geralt and Ciri. From this frame, we see there are quite a few more people there. We see Lambert and Cohen on the benches, and I believe the person in the way back is Eskel. I do not know who these other three are. They could be new characters for the show, which is great. I'm glad they're giving their own spin to it. As you can see, Geralt knows Lambert quite well, giving him a hug. They both train at Karen Morhen and are part of the School of the Wolf. Geralt also hugs Cohen, so he seems to have met him before. In the books, Cohen is from the School of the Griffin, and this is the first time he spent a winter at Karen Morhen. During WitcherCon, Henry discussed how he wanted the Witchers to act like brothers towards one another. So far, I'm getting that vibe. This is all new as well. This is in the books, so this is pretty cool. In the books, we just start out with Ciri being there for a couple of months, and we skip over this entirely. We now get to see a close-up of Eskel staring at Ciri. They left his scar intact, which is accurate to the books. Eskel and Geralt are very close friends. They grew up together and trained at Karen Morhen. In the next clip, we see Geralt training at Karen Morhen, sharpening his skills. As someone who has played the games, this feels very reminiscent of the games Karen Morhen, which I love. We then see Ciri having a nightmare in this shot. Ciri has been on the run for a while. She has been tormented by the memories of Sintra burning and the man in the winged helmet who tried kidnapping her. They haunt her, and this is a problem Ciri will have to face this season. Next clip we see is of Ciri at Karen Morhen in the armory. We get to see all the swords and weapons the Witchers use. Throughout these clips, Ciri says,
Sometimes I feel so afraid. I feel like I could burn the whole world.
Ciri's talking about the power that lays dormant inside her. She knows it's there, but she has no idea how to control it. Geralt really doesn't know how to show her how to control it either, but he does know other things. Geralt says,
Facing your fear is not easy, but I am here for you.
As I said before, Ciri was traumatized by the events of Sintra. Geralt wants to show her how to fight so she will never feel helpless again. That is why he is giving her a training sword. He and the other Witchers are going to train her like a Witcher. Next shot we see is of Geralt in a courtyard. This is from the Novellan story. His eyes are black, which means he has drunk a potion to enhance his abilities. We then see a creature swoop down. Now in the book, Novellan has a lady living with him named Verena, but she is not actually a lady, she is a Bruxa. A Bruxa is a powerful type of vampire. In the books and the games, Bruxas can't fly, so the show may be switching that up and giving them this ability. Next shot we see is of Ciri looking at a bedroom. This could be Karen Morhen, it looks dreary enough for it, or it could be at Novellan's manor because Geralt does sit down and eat with the bear-like man. This shot, I really do not know what this is. It could be Novellan, and that's why they're trying to cover his face up so we don't automatically know who it is, but I'm not sure. We then see Geralt bust through some doors, and I still believe this is at Novellan's manor. His eyes are still black from the potion he drank, and he's probably trying to chase down the Bruxa or save Ciri. In the next shot, we see Lambert and Cohen stand up as if danger is coming. If I had to guess what this is, it's when Ciri gets possessed again at Karen Morhen from this power of hers, and she prophesizes the deaths of Geralt and others. The only reason I say this is because the look of concern on Cohen's face. They could also be adding something new here, which I guess we won't know until season 2, so. The next clip we see is of Ciri stopping a bunch of women and saying we have to stay. I'm guessing this is from the Novellan story. As I said before, Novellan likes to have women stay with him, but in the books it's usually just one. In the show he has a whole gaggle, I guess. I don't believe this is Karen Morhen because of how hard it is to get there, but knowing Witchers, it wouldn't surprise me if they had a couple of ladies of the night hanging around. During these clips, Geralt is saying,
When I say run, you run. When I say hide,
We have to stay.
you hide.
This is probably while they are still heading to Karen Morhen. He does not want Ciri to get hurt, and he wants to protect her. We then see Ciri in new clothes here. This is after her training at Karen Morhen. Geralt is also armored up, and he tells Ciri to run. I believe this is when the square tile attack Geralt, Ciri, Triss, and the group of dwarves they are traveling with. Geralt tells her to run because the square tile are very dangerous. They usually consist of elves and dwarves and their guerrilla bands pretty much. In the next shot we see is of Vesemir. They have been hiding him like no other. We have yet to see his face at all from all the teaser pics and all the promotional stuff. It's strange. He is looking at the outside of Karen Morhen and the training beams they use for balance. We then see Geralt on top of them. This is very reminiscent from the games. Anyone who played the Wild Hunt knows this. We then get a quick glimpse of the castle that was taken over by Nilfgaard. You can tell this because their sigil hangs from the walls. We get to see some more footage from Nivellen's story, and we get to see some poor schmuck get killed. We then see Ciri in the lab at Karen Morhen. This is where the mutagens were given to would-be witchers, turning some into witchers, and well, the others died. We then see more of Ciri training and shots of her holding a Witcher medallion. We then see Geralt and Vesemir back to back in the lab at Karen Morhen with their swords drawn. This is new. This never happened in the book, so I'm curious what is attacking them in this sequence. Monsters maybe, or it could be humans again. We see some of the fallout from the Battle of Sodden Hill. Tissaia is looking for Yennefer. You may remember King Foltest came to their aid at the end after Yennefer unleashed fire upon the Nilfgaard army. Geralt is asking Ciri as well, where is she? As some of you may remember, once Geralt and Ciri met, Ciri asked him who Yennefer was. So the two may also be looking for her, or at least going past the battlefield. The next shot we see is of Triss meeting Ciri for the first time. Red hair, green cloak, dead giveaway. Geralt actually invites Triss to Karen Morhen to help him with Ciri. In this shot, Triss and Ciri are just in the woods right next to Karen Morhen. We then see a shot of Dara, who was the elf boy traveling with Ciri for a bit in season 1. I guess he's going to have a bigger role than I thought he would. In the next shot, we see a pile of bodies from the Battle of Sodden Hill. As I said before, King Foltest came to their aid and was able to defeat the invading Nilfgaardians, which was a crushing defeat for them. We then see Jaskier and his new outfit, and I guess he's wearing a hat. I guess a lot of people kept bothering him about it. I'm guessing this was probably fans of the game, because in the game he wears a hat. So we then see Nivellen, and like I said, he's able to do some magic. He lights some candles, and you can see he really does look like Beast from Beauty and the Beast. We then see Triss holding Geralt's hand. This is at Karen Morhen, and Triss does have a crush on Geralt. The two did sleep together at least once before her arrival at Karen Morhen, at least according to the books. It may be different in the show. We then see Geralt hugging Ciri, so this could be after he defeated the Bruxa at Nivellen's, or it could be after whatever was trying to attack Karen Morhen. We then get a close-up of Ciri and her emerald green eyes. She looks a bit beat up. This is probably during her training. The Witchers do not pull punches, and the training is very grueling, which we will get to see in the upcoming season. And the last shot we see is of Frangilla talking to Yennefer. Yennefer was captured by Nilfgaard after the Battle of Sodden Hill. That is why Tissaia and Geralt could not find her. I do not believe this happens in the book. They never really say where Yennefer goes after Sodden Hill, so this is new to me, and I am all for it. I love getting to know more about Yennefer's backstory and what she is doing when Geralt is with Ciri. I love how the show is looking so far. I feel like they heard the criticisms people had with the show last season and are trying to improve upon things they were lacking on, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want from a showrunner. I'm really impressed with the footage I've seen so far. So what did you guys think of the teaser trailer? Leave it down in the comments below. And if you want more Witcher content, please subscribe and like the video. Also check out the Twitter link in the description below. And as always, have an awesome day.